Their IGL
Yes.
Retta there. Hey, he needs to lead them in this second map as we go to Old Town. They're gonna have to switch it up. They're gonna have to start shooting on point as well. Get in, win some of these team fights, make these rotations, try to make EU's finest feel uncomfortable.
Knowing EU's finest, we all know what they're going to wind up doing. They're going to try to put down a power weapon if they ever lose, to make sure that the focus point of the map is going to be a big team fight for a heavy power weapon like a boom shot. So for QOS, you're going to have to learn to spread this map out. The good thing about Old Town is that it's pretty big. You have 2 lanes on the side and a fat one in the middle. So if you're able to utilize your support fire in the market area, that's going to be in the middle, you're going to make life so much more easier for your teammates. But it's going to start with this backstreet fight.
All right. So I would say like this, when you're competing, right, there's a few teams out there who what, these guys don't respect me. Like these guys don't respect me, and when you're online and you're scrimming, you can typically tell just based out how the other team is playing. If they're running around, playing around, whatever, whatnot. EU's finest feels that way when they play against these guys. It's just like, hey, you know what? We beat them all the time. Let's go out there, win our fights. Let's kind of have fun. But at a certain point, you got to demand respect. Yeah. When you understand that your opponents kind of play that way, or they just, they beating you up that easy, at some point, one of the players on the team got to say, hey, enough is enough. I'm about to go out here and drop a 50 bomb on these guys. Or I'm about to go out here and make them, just show us more respect.
One of my favorite quotes in Gears of War was somebody on Optic Gaming. They lost to 2K, all right? And I believe it was Explosive. He said, man, losing that, it really pissed me off. I don't understand how these people can lose every event.
I can't lose. Yeah, I can't lose nobody 15 times.
And they don't get this mad. Like, it actually drove him crazy. Like, something has to change. And
like, losing to the same team like every week. At some point,
that'll make me mad.
Like, I just feel like at some point you're just gonna start hitting more shots. And like, if you're practicing to get better, like one of those weeks you just say, hey, you know what? I've gotten better. Cause I don't know.
No, you're absolutely
I just can't get my butt beat by the same team like that consistently.
Yes. Like, for example, franchise, honestly, his play has elevated since the launch of Gears 4.
Yeah, it has.
Because he's matching Optic Gaming.
He has slowly gotten better, and he's beat him as well. That type of practice and that type of energy, so to speak, has paid off for him, because he's like, yo, I'm tired of losing. I'm going back to the lab. I'm gonna get better, build the next team, get better, and go out here and give them a run for their money. And that's why, like since he feels that way, he's always had the vision to make those upsets happen.
Got that right. But take a look at the score right now, 160 to 113, right? QOS Gaming, they're finding something that actually works. Starting off the beginning of the round, they're utilizing team fire, getting a down in the middle, actually utilizing that team fire to also get kills on B Street by playing together and just singling out everybody on EU's finest, because they want those shotgun fights. They able to overcome their individual skill. But by the looks of it, you see Craze running in, almost getting a double kill, but the C hill is going to be in danger. You have Phelpsy in it right now, decapping it. If they're able to get this 1v1 is huge. Oh, they can go ahead and steal this round from QOS. That's going to be big. That's going to be a huge blow.
It is going to be a huge blow. And if they do get it, you're going to just see the momentum just go right back. Well, it never left the EU's finest, but whatever QOS can work in the start, at this point, it doesn't matter, because EU's finest wins out too. So
yeah, EU's finest. It's about breaking that C hill for that amount of time, and having 2 hills compared to 1 or none. They would have surpassed no point. Stole the round from QOS Gaming, and would look like a solid win for the #2 team. They're now down 0-1.
After coming off that map #1, you don't want to lose the first round of map #2 this way. But you see Phelpsy, 5 kills to start that one off. Let's see, what does QOS want to put down in a situation? Maybe it's something down Backstreet. Maybe you go towards the other side of the map at Bell Tower, right? That wouldn't be technically a bad fight, because if you were to force a big team fight at Bell Tower and you were to lose it, technically you can kind of still extend the round, because at the B hill you have a 1v1 fight.
You're right.
So if you got your best player there, you're just going to have some faith in him as well. So it's not always good to play with the big power weapon on top of where the neutral hill is located.
You're right.
It kind of depends on your play style and who you're playing against. if I'm losing initials to a team, I want a power weapon across from where the neutral hill is. But if I feel like we can dominate the team easily, I want that power weapon on top of the neutral hill so the rounds can be quicker.
You know what? I kind of wanted to see QOS Gaming put like an M-bar sniper, even some type of nade in the middle, because the market area was actually pretty easy for them. They bested the EUS finest like it was nothing. And by winning that market area, they would have that, you know, utility or that extra sniper rifle and whatnot to help them out. So putting Hammerburst down on the side of, what was that, bell tower is going to be pretty much out of play at the beginning of the game. And there you have it. Crims getting the first blood. Retta's going to fall, getting Crims a double kill. And you're going to have a pretty much even fight in the middle for now until EUS finest, they get the pickup in, now they're on the run.
Yeah, the middle in Old Town is such a universal location because you're able to watch from that middle lane, you're able to watch both the side alleys that's going down towards Bell Tower and Back Street. And if your teammates have fights over there, you can support them very, very easily. So you need to always make sure you have a body there. Also, you able to keep tabs on your opponent and how their rotations are flowing as well, so you can get those early call-outs to your teammates so you guys can count. But you're going to see the two hills going in favor of EU's finest. Mid-map control, QOS pushing down to get some get a decap towards B, but we'll see if they can hold this defensive setup.
Holding market is just so important because Chris, he's in a power position right now. He's able to look to his left and his right and pick out his lancer and make sure everybody's weak that's fighting his teammates. Retta getting a kill on high drone. Jack is down. So now you have QOS pushing down B Street. But they were cognizant of Crims, almost called it M-Crims, Crims and Phelpsy being that close. They're going to back up, try to save their lives. It's not a fight that they want to force on their side. But by backing up and pulling out the shotgun, Retta was able to get a kill. Zorko's left alive.
One of those situations where sometimes you just can't get too happy.
No.
You got to work your numbers. He went in there and he missed that shot. And they probably would have won this round a while ago if he didn't jam his pistol when he went down low as well, when they were pushing that 2v1. So you just got to breathe and be patient for QOS and, you know, take these advantages that they have a little bit slower.
This is so good for QOS. The fact that they have the lead. The fact that they're able to have more space to operate. They're letting Zorko be able to play his type of play style. Wide open 1v1s. It's all playing into their favor. Yes, they lost the first round, but we all know that that first round should have really gone to QOS.
My thing is, as you see EU's finest, they're continually stacking up on this side of the map,
what are you going to do?
If Zorkos and them are doing such a good job holding this off, the other two people on the other side of the map
flank it.
Need not say, hey, we're going to let these guys keep doing their thing in a 2-cap. No, they need to be pushing that home hill years ago. Like, Zorkos is playing phenomenal. Him and Physics, the duo, are locking down this B hill, but they need production on the other end of the map. Once again, they want another team fight. But they've been in this 2-cap position for a long time, and I do believe that QOS could have ended this round about a minute ago.
No, you're definitely right. You're going to have to think ahead here and there. So if that B Street was actually lost, what do they really have control of? They have one player in the market.
So this comes down to your home hill player, right?
Yeah.
And this is where having an aggressive home hill player and a confident home hill player pays off. Because when you have your 1v1 over there and you see your teammates constantly winning a team fight over and over, you know, you recruit some extra help. Say, hey, whoever's been mapped, I'm gonna push down. I'm gonna put some pressure on this guy. Just help me out a little bit in my 1v1. And you start putting pressure on that home hill, and then next thing you know, the team that has, you know, in that defensive stand with the one hill, they got to make some difficult decisions at that point.
Right. At first, they're grouping up around Back Street, but their home hill's being taken.
They grouped up like 3-4 times at Back Street, and they shouldn't have.
They had no pressure on them except to fight in that one lane. They're gonna have to make sure they have multiple lanes. They have.
It's good to have some faith. It's good to have faith in your teammates. And Zorkos, and he did a great job, but you also need to be a playmaker on your own on the other end of the map.
The Phelpsy working with Krim, got it down on Zorkos, taking him out. Chris is gonna fall as well, but with the sniper rifle in Phelpsy's hands. Let's see if he can go ahead and pop a head or two.
Well, High Drone got 2, so he got some catching up to do, and only Retta's alive.
Yeah, this is looking like a pretty fast round. The 2 hills to 1. You have EUS finest now being aggressive, using some of that aggro to go over there and fight towards the C hill. You have 2 players in that tunnel currently decapping the C hill, and not able to get the headshot, but it's
body shot is just as good. And actually,
just as good.
I don't even know if he connected with those body shots. They were off.
I think they missed.
Yeah, actually, I think both of those body shots. Surprisingly, I'm surprised the first one did. But this is where QOS comes out, utilizing that team fight and saying, hey, we need to push out a lane. Crimson's is asking for all type of help. So you're going to have EU's finest back up to clear this lane out, but they're going to get that call out that these guys from QOS is rotating back towards the other end of the map. And this is where I say, this is where you want to look like an aggressive home hill player, and Crim recognizes it. He says, hold up.
He's going to push that.
I'm about to do what you guys should have did the previous round, and he puts the pressure towards the back street.
I hope the Gears guys gives us Crim one more time, because Crim, he's in such a crucial place. And look,
yeah, he has
Crim
help.
is actually demanding a double team.
Yep.
He had his teammate come with him to go ahead and go on that flank.
He's saying, hey, you guys cannot get a comfortable team fight. You guys will not be able to group up towards the back street and retake it, because you guys going to have to focus on me, because I want your home hill in the same process
And by
at the same time.
Calling out a 2v1, Crazy is going to come out. He's going to help out Crim, getting it down, a high percentage kill. Both players using a pistol. The C hill is now going to belong to EU's finest. We're looking at a double home hill setup. The B hill is all they need.
Another miss right there. Something about that spot.
Crazy with LC aren't the snipers we thought they were.
Right? And I not expect one of these guys.
Yeah, it's a Crim. But Ray with the shotgun, I'll give
Let's
you that.
see. All right, Crazy. You going to make up for it? One of you guys. Give me one headshot.
Just one time.
Just for the night. Just, I haven't watched Gears in a week. Just give me my fix. Give me my fix as a Gears fan on fight night.
I'm hoping. I'm going to yell just one time.
Nah, please don't. Nah, you could yell. You could yell at excitement.
There we go.
But you're gonna see EU's finest. They're in a good spot, so they're gonna rotate the sniper in a position where he can get an angle towards his back street. EU's finest is like, yo, we got a 50-point lead. This is where it's an acceptable 2-cap. We can hold the 2-cap now if we want to. But this is after they put a lot of pressure on the home hill of QOS. QOS, they have to get the B hill. They have to get EU's finest's home hill as well. It's not looking good for them. That's 2 rounds in a row.
And that's pretty unfortunate because
not in a row.
EU's finest, they actually look extremely vulnerable on this map. At no time at all did they have complete control from start to finish like they did in the last map, which was on Slab. But QOS are going to have to fill themselves out, make sure that they're covering the right lanes, making sure that you really utilize this bell tower the way that Crim did as the home hill player.
All right, so let's see what may go mid-map. This is typically a nade position. And usually you see frag grenades or incense, because if you can win that fight, you can toss those nades to bell tower or towards the B street if you need to. So we'll see who acquires those and how they're going to play with that. But 10 kills for Phelpsy on the side of EU's finest. 2-1. We're going to see how this opening break is going to happen.
Grenades smack dab in the middle in the mark areas. It's going to be so important.
Oh, they got 3 guys in the middle for EU's finest. They're going to bring that extra man and get those nades right away. So Chris says, hey, I just need to put as much pressure as I can. But the nades are going to be acquired for free pretty much by EU's finest. They're going to toss them both, get a kill. So that puts their team in a man advantage already at the B hill for sniper. And they're going to have a 2-man advantage mid-map. So these kills are coming in the favor of EU's finest so quickly. They should be able to win this round in Trim Cap domination real soon.
So, yeah, 4 or 5 players down now for QS Gaming. EU's finest, only players that are alive on the map. You see them running on the overhead of the map. A hill currently being captured, B hill in their favor. All they need is a C hill. But with Jack and I believe that was Craze in QOS's home hill, they're not going to be able to enter it. Chris is running off to fight a random 1v1. He's going to lose that, of course. But he could have been there to help out his teammates once they broke the hill.
He could have, but could have, should have, would have. It's another
That's
easy
just
finest
okay.
round.
That's just being focused now. Like, you can't just throw away fights like that, throw away your lives. You always fight until the game is over.
You know, but like I said, one of these weeks something has to change between the matchup of these 2 teams. We've seen it go close, and we've seen it go close on the maps, but we've also seen EU's finest pretty much win about 95% of the matchups over 2 seasons.
But the reason why we talk about it like this is because we actually know that this roster can match up against EU's finest. It's very small mistakes that they make that changes the entire outcome of the round.
Fuck off. But you gotta ask yourself, is it more so and we talk a lot about this, right? And because we've seen teams dominate regions, right? Like we've seen Ghost Gaming dominate Latin region for a very long time. EU's finest dominate the EU region for a long time, and the same with Optic Gaming in North America. One team just kind of sits at the top. You gotta ask yourself why. Is it just player mentality, or are they just that good?
Well, the one thing that I took,
it's a little bit of mix of both too, you know. But I think it's more so on the side of, because everybody can shoot, you know. these Gears players are the best in the world for a reason, and you know they know how to work the mechanics of the game. So I just think it comes down to player mentality for the most part.
I think the one thing that really stands out from EU's finest compared to the rest of the teams in Europe is that they pretty much adopted a fraction of the NA playstyle, where most of the time they're extremely aggressive. EU region used to be extremely passive back
Yeah, they did.
to where they didn't push. It was like slow motion when you watch their events.
But my thing is that if I'm in the EU region and I see the changes that EU's finest made, I would be doing the same thing. I would literally just copy the play style. Oh, they put a boom shot on impact. Let me put the boom shot on impact and go play.
Exactly.
You know, because it's a reason why they were placing as high as they was in the North American region. So when they was coming out to the North American events.
Snap rifle over in the back shooter. Hopefully we can see the scope be put to use, but we'll see if somebody on the EUS finals will be able to get a headshot. But Krim, he's going to start things off getting a headshot of his own on Zorkos, and Jack is going to pick up the frag grenades. The sniper rifle hasn't been picked up yet, but Jack killing.
Took his teammate out.
It's a triple kill, though. It's a triple
And the middle is clear. Also, both home hills will get capped for QOS as well.
Yeah.
They're going to overextend down low and try to get their opponent's home hill to get the hammer burst as well, but he's going to have to cap this and make some difficult decisions soon because he's about to have 3 members from EU's finest in his face.
But take a look at B Street right now. You have a 1v2. He has no help whatsoever. That you had numbers. Those are 3v2. There's no reason why you had those 2 players left alive and unbothered for so long while the rest of the EU's fighters were respawning. Sometimes you're going to have to be aggressive and really force the fight.
Well, EU's finest, they want to be fight, and just QOS happened to win that home hill street and kind of middle fight. So at that point, with it being a 22-second respawn round, they said, hey, we're just going to slow it down a little bit, wait for all bodies to get back up, because you don't want to force it and just, you know, trade off kills back and forth. You want to wait till your entire team spawns up and then try to get a well-organized push in these later rounds.
But the one thing I didn't get, the marker was wide open, okay? So Physics, he literally wasted about 15, 20 seconds to go to the C hill and cap it, which was immediately decapped
and
4 seconds later.
Seconds in this game mode is everything, you know? We talk about being able to, you know, at the greatest scale, it's a 5v5 game mode. But even in the beginning of rounds, you see a lot of these 2v1 fights and 2v2s. And when you're able to isolate your opponent, sometimes you have seconds to be able to make the play that your team needs.
Yeah, and Jack.
Like this is a 2v1, right? Quickly isolated, but now they're going to have another 2v1 if they get into the mix quick enough.
You don't stall this. You don't stall this. Push together.
So yeah, they're gonna get this smoke down. The more time that goes by, the harder that becomes. And that was a push.
That was a 2v1.
That was a good 2v1, right? And that's perfect because if they would have pushed that together and had the confidence, they could have got that home hill down low. But it still would have worked out because they would have prevented the trip cap domination.
And now they panic. They sent the player back to go ahead and.
Oh, you can't. Oh my God, you can't.
No.
Chris, you can't lose that, Chris. Keep trying.
So there's 2 things that happened, Blade.
Yeah.
So Physics should have gone to the market area. There's 2 players left alive on the EU's finest over in B Street. Now, if he went to market, he would have put out his Lancer, offer support fire, and it would have been a 3v2 fight. You fight the remaining 2 members on the EU's finest. That way you could have pushed them all the way back into their spawn area. They didn't do that. Instead, he wasted half a minute to go capture the C hill to waste 2 seconds off the clock for EU's finest, which didn't matter in the long run. After that, we just saw a 2v1 scenario where Kraves was by himself.
Yeah.
Everyone else was on the opposite side of the map.
Yeah, and I agree. And if he would have been able to help his teammates in that situation, the round would have been way different than what it was. But we are going into halftime, so we're gonna have a new set of hills, and all those power weapons will be wiped off the map as well. Gonna have a clean slate, 12-second respawns as well.
All of this is a learning experience, and I'm really hoping that QOS Gaming actually turns it up, whether it's today or the next time they appear on Fight Night, because I know we will see this roster again, definitely. But I harp on them like this because I know they can do better. It's my 20th time saying this, but taking a look at the score, you're going to have 2 hills to 1. EU's finest definitely in the lead. And Kraves hiding around the corner, able to get the headshot on Chris. Going for a 2nd kill. He's distracting all of QOS Gaming, able to secure the 2nd kill.
Like when you die like that, and the way that when you die like that, that's when I say at a certain point you just get upset and you say I'm going to demand respect. Right?
Yes.
You just say that I'm gonna win gunfights the next time that we play. You're not gonna die like that because Praise is still alive. He's gonna win a third one because he doesn't respect
He's
them.
playing around right now.
Yeah, he's playing around because he's like, yo, we're gonna win again.
That wasn't serious.
So as a man, you gotta be like, hey, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of getting my butt whooped against these guys every week. And you practice harder than next week. You know, at some point you've had enough. But QOS has not had enough.
And I was just so funny. The fact that Crazy was able to stall QOS for so long, being on their side of the map, securing 3 different kills, and finally dying against the 4th, that was actually extremely solid. But QOS Gaming, they got rid of 2 players on the map, which is Crims and Hydrone. How are they going to play and rotate after that? Hasn't really been much. There's still pushback in their spawn area. They do have a 2-to-1 hill lead, but this F hill is currently being threatened.
Definitely is. And you see EU's Finest gets to the home hill of QOS. The E hill at Bell Tower is still in their favor, but you just see how aggressive they get into the spawn. They don't mind going to the spawn. At this point, you know, it doesn't even matter to them. They're just going to keep that pressure there.
Why? Because it's wasting so much time.
But also, look at the 2v1 on the other side. They've isolated 2v1, so they say, hey, even if guys die, just respawn, protect the home hill. We'll be fortifying the E. We're still going to be able to hold a 2-cap. So, you know, they're outplaying them and they're out-rotating them.
Out-rotating, out-playing, out-gunning, and out-stratting. EU's Finest up 5-1 against QOS Gaming, and it's not going to slow down at all, with Crims able to get a kill and Craze making sure that EU's Finest got a double kill. But on the other side of smoke, Crims is going to find himself in the middle of a 1v2 fight. Question is, can QOS come up and clutch it up in this 2v2? Doesn't look likely as physics goes down and Retta gets blasted with a 1-shot.
When you're allowed to fight in your opponent's spine, it just sends such a powerful message because one is, even if you die, you didn't make a bad play because as soon as you spawn up, you just go right to the home hill. So you have one under your control, especially when you have a lead. Also, your opponent see it as a sign of like, oh, we're playing that bad. These guys are just in our spine, just having their way with us. So, you know, it's just, you know, at that point, it's a mental advantage for EU's Finest. They're like, hey, I'm just chilling here. They're getting upset. They're getting agitated. Cap the 2-cap, cap the hill at E, and just, you know, wait this round out.
You know, sometimes that really lets you know what type of players are fighting right next to you. Right now, we see a drop. We're going to see if a player is going to come back into the lobby. But when you start to get pressure like that, you start to get beat that bad, you start to question yourself. Okay, are we really that good? Is there something we need to change up? And that type of mentality is definitely going to be brought up.
Yeah, so but we're going to see a player of QOS lag out. And so, yeah, both teams are going to just relax and spawn for a bit and wait for that last player to join up. But it's EU's Finest 1 round away from winning 2-0.
Blaze, where do we start with this one? So QOS, there's a plethora of things that they've done wrong, but also there's a lot of things that they did right. Let's talk about the things that they did right first.
Yeah.
I don't want to bash this team too much because they're great.
Well, first off, I don't think it's bashing them.
It's not bashing.
Because we've casted these 2 teams play against each other a lot, right? And it's only so much that we can say. When you know, at a certain point, these guys, they played a new set of maps. They didn't play down. And, you know, they played Slab, they got Old Town, but the results still being the same, you know? So you can only kind of equate that to 2 different things, you know, bad leadership or just bad gun skill. It's either one or the 2. These guys aren't hitting shots tonight.
I'm gonna say it has to do with leadership, definitely. It's hard to hit shots when you're constantly in a position to where it's impossible to win. When you're constantly being pushed 1v2 and whatnot. By the way, Blaze, you look pretty handsome on this camera. So.
I know. I know, yeah.
But it's the fact that you're not utilizing these fights. You're not making the right decisions. And yes, we are currently back in the game.
Yeah, we're back in it. They're playing it. It's EU's Finest. They're 1 round away. I think they just decided to just go ahead and play this round out as their teammate comes back into the game. But, you know, this one was pretty much over already.
But yeah, but like I was saying, man, it's seconds and numbers. Those are the 2 biggest factors in Gears of War. If you're not able to utilize every second whenever you're running around the map, making these decisions to decap hills or go and support your teammates, that type of decision making and hesitation will really fall against you. And when you have numbers, you always push them. I don't care what the situation is, if it's a 2v1 or a 3v2, you make sure you put yourself in a position.
Because that's an advantage. That's an advantage, but
it's an advantage that you win.
But every team has to perceive what that advantage is. I don't think teams understand when they do have advantages. Some teams understand it more than others, because you know top teams are able to understand the micro advantages, right?
Yeah.
You know. AM teams thinking still just think greatest skill. Is it a 5v4, 4v3, something along those lines?
But I can tell what the comms were even like. When you and I criticized when it should have been a 2v1 push, but you went back to the spawn, I can imagine that in their comms they're saying, they're capping our home hill, they're going to get a domination.
Yeah.
That's when somebody should have stood up and said, hey, we're in a 2v1, let's fight this and capture their hill. Let's spread out the map, and then we'll flank them around. We'll hold.
Well, but at the same time, you wouldn't even have to worry about that because in front of your face, you see you have a 2v1 and you see a hill there. So even if somebody did step on it, you know, you still know that you can get that. You can still get the decap and buy your team some time. So you wouldn't even have to think about what's happening behind you. But granted, you know, hopefully the call-outs are there for them. But you know, even at a man disadvantage, you know, it's QOS putting up a fight, keeping this one extended, winning a few fights on a home hill, but EU's Finest just a few more points away from ending this one.
And for EU's Finest, if you're an owner out there, I just want to let you know that this is the #1 European team going against the #2 team in their region, and they destroy them. So if you're looking for a team to pick up, look no further because EU's Finest, they have a quality coach, they have a quality leader, and him with his duo, and you have Krems on his side. This is a solid team. It's just all about them getting back to their aggressive play style, playing in their nature. That's what they really have to focus on. By Boston, I hope that we can see the EU's Finest of old because they will be a threat and actually a contender to win the title.
Yeah, and there it goes, folks. EU's Finest. They secure map #2 and win 14-2 on Fight Night, 2-0 in maps, and take your European 2K final.
That was rough. I'm gonna be entirely honest. Whether it was bad rotations, bad calls, and not taking advantage of numbers, there's a lot that QOS can learn. And honestly,